Bear Cubby lived in a cozy wooden cottage right at the edge of the enchanted forest. The house was small but very comfortable and smelled of honey, pine needles, and warm milk. Every piece of furniture was made by Cubby's own paws. Shelves from little planks gathered in the meadow, curtains sewn from colourful handkerchiefs, and a big armchair with a pillow shaped like a cookie. But the most important thing was the window, large and round, through which Cubby looked out at his beloved forest every morning. That morning, everything felt different. As soon as Cubby opened his eyes, he sensed something had changed. The sunbeams entering the room were warmer and more golden than usual, and somehow mysterious. The air smelled faintly of wild mint, and from deep within the forest came a strange melodic sound, like a mix of a gentle stream and the tinkling of tiny bells. Murmured Cubby, stretching. Something interesting is happening in the forest, or maybe someone needs help. He jumped out of bed, ate his favourite honey and raspberry oatmeal, and reached for his red backpack. It was his adventure pack. Inside were honey cookies, a thermos with raspberry and chamomile tea, a bandage, just in case, a flashlight, a small map of the forest, and the most important thing, his heart-shaped bear compass, which always pointed in the direction he was meant to go. Before leaving, he stood in the doorway and said, "Take care, little house. I'll be back as soon as I find out what's calling from the heart of the forest." The door creaked softly, as if in reply. Cubby set off down a path lined with tall ferns, past a brook, and through a grove where squirrels usually scampered. But today, there were no squirrels, no birds chirping, no buzzing bees. Cubby knelt at the edge and looked in. For a moment, he saw his own reflection. Then his eyes widened. In the puddle appeared an image. A huge tree with blue leaves, glowing like crystal, and around it, sad animals, closed flower buds, and a shadow. A shadow swirling around the tree like smoke. Then he heard a voice, not entirely human, not quite animal, more like the forest itself. Cubby jumped and looked around, but no one was there.
"Who's there?"
he called.
"The forest meets a heart."
Cubby didn't know what to say at first. Then, as if answering himself, he hugged his backpack and sighed.
"If the forest is calling me, I'll go. I won't leave anyone without help."
He stood up, brushed his paw on the grass, and looked eastward, the direction his compass pointed. He took one step, then another. Each step echoed louder in the quiet forest, as if every tree and leaf was listening to his journey. After a while, he reached a narrow bridge of branches crossing a small stream. As he stepped across, he heard a rustle. From the bushes jumped a fuzzy ball of orange fur. Cubby instinctively stepped back and reached for a cookie, because cookies solve most problems. But the ball stood up on two legs, shook itself off, and said,
"Whoa, that was a tumble. Sorry. I didn't mean to scare you."
It was a fox, small with a big fluffy tail, messy fringe, and a wide grin.
"I'm Figilek, and you must be Cubby, right?"
Cubby raised an eyebrow.
"How do you know me?"
Figilek swished his tail and smiled even wider.
"The forest speaks. I know you've set out because you heard the voice. I heard it too, and I'm not the only one. Something is happening in the blue glade. Everything there is going quiet. The tree has stopped breathing."
Cubby felt his little heart beat faster again.
"Want to come with me?" "Of course. I wouldn't go alone, but with you? Why not? Besides, I've got a great nose and an excellent memory for paths."
And so, Cubby's real adventure began. He was no longer alone. He had gained a companion, cheerful, clever Figilek the fox. Together, they set off deeper into the forest toward the mysterious blue glade which no one had visited in many days. And somewhere far away in the heart of the forest, the great tree stirred, as if it knew that hope had